Please welcome to the TEDx Sonoma County stage, Jay Shafer.
Smaller houses are more efficient. That's basically what I've been saying. That's all I've been saying for the last decade or so, but I've been doing it in very long-winded ways. Today I'll do the same. When I say efficient, I really mean what a lot of people mean when they say things or use words like sustainable or green. Most people, except for people in advertising, really, where apparently those things are used to describe everything, so they mean nothing at all. I guess what I really mean by efficient is less consumption and less production for a better quality life. So if you can get that, I think you've got something along the lines of what people are talking about usually when they talk about green and sustainable. The last part of that definition is particularly important because, oh my gosh, if you're just being efficient, but you're not really striving for a better quality of life or bettering oneself, bettering the world, you tend to efficiently work your way towards something arbitrary, and oftentimes that's not good. I realized just about 20 minutes before coming out here that these might actually belong to some people here. I live in the area. My point was not that these are the ugliest mansions in the world. I found them very close and the opposite of what I'm doing right now. If you live in them, I'll assume you have 20 people living there, and I'll forgive it. My favorite part about designing small houses is really the designing of small houses itself. There's a lot of talking about designing small houses or writing about them, or even photoshopping small houses into beautiful landscapes. And tonight I leave for the East Coast to do a rap video, a music video, brag rap called Mine's So Tiny, and we're going to finish that up hopefully tomorrow. But my favorite part is really the design part. And I call the design part subtractive design, but it's really a very redundant term. If you get right down to it, all design really should be subtractive. All design is just subtractive design, paring things down to their essence so that they can do the job at hand without a lot of extras, because the extras just get in the way. In fact, I think when it comes to residential architecture, the primary occupation should really be focusing on what people need to be safe and comfortable and happy. I think that when architects or designers skip that part, they're sort of cheating because it's the hardest part. It's the first thing you got to do. And for that matter, it's the hardest part of, I think, being happy in life too. At least it has been for me. Figuring out what I needed to be happy and then getting rid of all the rest that was in the way was the hard part. After that, it's all easy. Now, I want to make it clear that I'm not talking about trying to shove every family of 4 into a 120-square-foot house on wheels. And I'm certainly not, well, I guess what I am trying to say is that when I say small house, all I mean is a house in which all the space is being used well. And that's important. I think that, if there's a couple who claims they need 11,000 square feet to be happy, I wouldn't argue with them. You can't really gauge these things on an individual basis very easily. But I would maybe question whether they were actually right. I wouldn't argue, but they might not be right. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said that an artist's job is really to basically get past oneself. To get to the universal, you've got to transcend the personal. So with that in mind, for a long time I was designing houses for this universal person. I happen to be a very average stature, so I just designed every house for myself and assumed it would work for everybody else too. The problem with that is that when you're designing a house that meets everybody's needs, you're really designing for nobody in particular, and you wind up with houses that are for nobody in particular. So I started doing this, I tried to take the universal stuff I'd been working on and make it easily personalized. So you could, if you didn't want a bathroom in your house, just don't drag the bathroom in through the front door. leave it outside, and you've got yourself an outhouse. If you want to turn the whole house into a kitchen, just get an extended counter off the little kitchenette or whatever, and you've got yourself a kitchen, and you can sleep on the floor. It's kind of like Lego meets IKEA, and they make a porn movie together, I think. Every little house designed by its occupant is really a self-portrait, and as such, it's going to be a lot of universal elements, plus some idiosyncrasies. So I did realize at some point that designing for universality or purely universal needs was not quite cutting it. So I started designing houses that were totally customizable by the occupant. Now, if you're in a natural environment, or a built environment for that matter, and you're seeing beauty, chances are you're seeing a lot of variation in multiplicity, which is what I've been talking about for the last couple minutes. And where you see that is often where innovation for innovation's sake is absent, and growth for growth's sake is absent. Basically, more for more's sake is not in the picture, which allows for necessity itself, for our needs, for the needs at hand to be formed by those needs. Thank you.